afternoon, everyone. This is Tony from our Homestead Skills. Well, we've got a little bit of heat going on here. It's a very hot weather. We had, it was hotter about a week ago or last week, and then we had a few days where it's cooled down a bit. And of course, it's going to get a little bit hotter again in the coming days. Now, I did double check what the weather was like in Alabama, in my other home, and there's about 5-degree difference. So it's hot there too. And I also double checked on the humidity level, because I keep telling people that yes, it's pretty much very similar here. And the humidity level there is at 76%, and it's at 74% here. So there's only a slight difference. And it's some days it's hotter here, and some days it's hotter there. But I think overall it definitely is hotter down south. But the big issue is that here it doesn't last very long. We have a pretty nice spring. I mean, spring is always amazing just because you have new life coming, you know, after the cold and the snow and the bitterness and then spring is just, you feel it in your bones. Everything's awakening, everything's coming to life. Spring is a beautiful time. And then we have a very short summer. It seems like summer's a blip that comes and goes, especially as you get older. And then the fall, of course, is nice and cool, and there's a harvest. I mean, it's beautiful for the harvest. But immediately we're back into the cold, and that's just long and cold and dreary and bitter, and it's too cold. Well, so it is too hot for me to be in my kitchen. And I do want to do some canning. I'd like to make some applesauce. I'm down to my last jar of applesauce. And we love applesauce with either chicken or definitely with pork. So if we do a pork roast or if we do pork chops, I love to have my applesauce with it. And I really enjoy it with chicken too. I started having applesauce with chicken, and I enjoy it that way as well. So down to my last jar, have to get some. And apples are always available here all year round. Now, they aren't always the freshest, but on the other hand, I don't know if you really want fresh, picked from the tree, the most perfect apples to make applesauce. You don't need that. You can use seconds to make applesauce, and it's still wonderful. Unfortunately, we can't buy seconds from the apple orchards. At least they don't seem to sell them to the one I go to. But the fruit is available in stores all the time, and you know that they are probably stored and you know, kept. But they're fine. They're in great shape, and you know, the apples are wonderful to have. So, and I also would like to can some pears. My pears are done. I can a few pears every year, and I'm hoping when I go back down south that pear tree that I think is a pear tree actually is a pear tree, and if it is, I'm gonna be doing a lot of canning of pears. I really don't care what anyone says, as long as the pears are suitable for canning. And I've been told by some people that perhaps that's what you have down there is these, you know, especially if the tree's been around for a while, and that they're hard pears and they're only suitable for canning or for cooking. That would be ideal. I prefer canned pears over fresh ones, to tell you the truth. So that would be ideal for me. So definitely going to be doing some canning when I get down there, hopefully finding the time in and amongst all the other things that I want to do. And that's the dilemma, of course. Down there, there's more than enough to do. Here, there's nothing to do. My garden is fine. You know, tomatoes are growing. I've harvested some lavender. I've picked what I could of the asparagus. And I really didn't put in a big garden this year, simply just because my mind was elsewhere and we were back and forth and really not knowing what was going on. I think when things get a little more settled and we know that we're going to be here X amount of time and there X amount of time, I can certainly plan my life here a little bit better. right now it seems to be the focus is on planning what we're going to do there, because there is so much to do there. But I do have to get caught up on canning. As I said, I need applesauce. We're down to the last jar of potatoes, so I'm going to be doing some more potatoes in cans. Whether I do French fries or whether I do just chunks, I think I'm just going to do chunks. Well, we finished our chili, and I did a new batch of chili, which I'm glad to see. And I'm going through the pantry to see what else I need. I'm okay for corn, but when the corn is in season again, I will be doing some more corn. And I think I probably will like to make some more chicken soup. We do have some chicken soup that is freeze-dried, and that's packaged. But I think I'd also like to make some fresh chicken soup in jars. We used up everything that I had made up in jars, and surprisingly, I thought Mark wouldn't like that, but he seemed to, he seemed to enjoy it. So I'm gonna make up some more chicken soup as well. I've told myself not to do any canning for foods that we're not gonna eat. I have tons of jam. I think the one year I must have made about 7 or 8 different varieties of jam, and I still have lots and lots of jam. So I'm good there. And of course, tomato sauce every year. Really doesn't matter. I'll always make tomato sauce. But today is not a day to focus on kitchen and canning. And my garden is fine. I was there the other day and I made sure that everything was okay. And I went to the thrift shop. Actually, I went to about 2 or 3 of them on Tuesday. Today's Thursday, so 2 days ago. And really found nothing that I would even consider. Well, there are always beautiful crystal and, there are things, but nothing that I want to take home and buy. And believe it or not, I have a cabinet full of crystal that I had packed when we moved into this apartment, and it's still in boxes because there's just no place to take it out and put it here. So there's no point in buying any extra crystal. I checked for cast iron, and it seems all these things that I used to collect, like lovely Royal Albert mugs, I don't see any anymore. The cast iron, I see just pieces I wouldn't want to buy. What else was I collecting there? Oh yeah, blue willow dishes, not a one. I'm not seeing any real nice china that I would want. Now, I'm not interested in collecting china sets, but just, the nice mug here and there. I used to find them all the time, and not anymore. So I don't know what's happening in these thrift shops, whether they're taking all the good stuff and they're selling them elsewhere. But they're just not as, they even used to have a cabinet where they'd have some of what they considered the better quality things. The best things that I found were some leather-bound books in the cabinet. And the lot that they had there were really nice. They were $40 for 4 of them, which was a steal. It was a great price for those books. Unfortunately, I already had a copy of one of them in there, and they wouldn't switch it out for me. So there's no point in having duplicates of the same leather-bound books, so I didn't buy it. And at this time, something like that is not a necessity, and there's so many things that are a necessity down south that I'm being a lot more cautious what I buy. So with it being too hot to cook, the thrift stores being boring, I've gone shopping for groceries, and I've gone for a lovely walk today. So I've decided that, yes, I would try to get out and walk every morning. I don't always succeed at that. And you know what? When you do that really, really early in the morning, it's probably the best time. It's not too hot then. It's actually refreshing. But today I waited till it was too warm and too late, but I still went out. And I probably was dressed a little too warm for taking that walk in that heat. But I persevered, I guess that would be the term. I persevered, and I stayed out for a good half hour doing my walk, which is, you know, something that really is a good thing to be doing health-wise. Normally I would try to put a little bit of stress in it, walk a little quicker or something, but there is always this one spot that I have to walk back, and it's a slope up, so that's where the little bit of stress is. Now, when I was in my other home, even just to walk to my fig tree or the well house or the garage, I have to walk up a slope. And it seemed that we would do that many, many times throughout the day, walking back and forth for whatever reason. And yes, we certainly do get a lot more exercise when we're there. And I've never been one that liked going to the gym. I know that my daughter does. She loves it. She could spend hours at the gym every day, and I hated it. I've always hated it. I always thought that the best way to get exercise is just to keep doing things and keep getting busy. And yes, going to the gym, you do have specific exercises for specific muscles and to achieve specific ends. I don't care. I just exercise in order to try and stay fit and stay healthy. I'm not trying to develop muscle or, well, maybe just trying to lose a little bit of the belly, but that's about it. Now, there's so much going on in the world, and I'm just trying to take it all in without getting too wrapped up in it, live my own life. And Mark does his own thing every morning. He goes off trying to go fishing. And I told Mark it's pretty amusing that when we're here, every morning we go our own way, and we get together in the afternoon and spend the rest of the day together. Whereas when we're down south, we're together the whole time. I mean, if we go shopping, we go shopping together. If we go working on the house, we're working on the house together. We may have separate projects, or we may be working on the same project. But here it seems as though he does his thing, I do my thing, which is fine. They both work. I think that the shopping is because we only take one car down there. We don't fly, we take one car. And so when we go shopping, we usually go out together. Anyway, still have to focus when things cool down on canning a little bit more. So I will be doing some more canning videos, and hopefully doing some more harvesting. I didn't go to the Pickett farms for strawberries this year. Once again, the mind just wasn't focused on that. But I do hope to get some apples before I leave here from a Pickett farm. So I have gone through the pantry and reorganized it, took out all the jars that I was putting back in there that were empties after we'd used them. And I only have a very small pantry and a closet. Actually, I have a couple of closets. And then I have other things in cabinets, and I have other things in a bedroom closet, in buckets, and I have containers underneath the table that I work on in the kitchen. So my pantry's all over the apartment. But the main go-to pantry is just a small closet that I have steel shelves in. I think I've shown you that in the past. But that's the main go-to for everyday different things, whether it's the chili, the corn, potatoes, jam. Oh, and I have at least 3 dozen sweet pickles that I made. And yes, we're getting through them. And salsa. Mark and I are starting to eat the salsa again, so yeah, it's really good. But organized it all, trying to see what we have, what we need. And as I said, I'm going to have 2 pantries, so I'm going to have to be a little bit more circumspect on what I make here, what I make there. And hopefully, I mean, I'll learn. It'll take time, I'm sure. Maybe some things I won't make in both spots. Maybe some things I'll just enjoy in one location and not in the other, which is fine too. There are some things that for sure I have to keep in both homes. But yes, that's a little bit frustrating to me because I still don't have a firm idea of what I need to do. But it'll come, and it's still pretty exciting, and it's good to be active. Just because you're a senior doesn't mean that life ends. I mean, we still have so much to do and so many things that we would like to accomplish, and hopefully we'll be able to at least do some of it. Anyway, so yeah, this is Tony from Our Homestead Skills. Talk to you real soon. Bye for now.